Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about the top 10 creepiest small towns in America. Before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for future updates. Many of America's spooky towns have a similar story. A once thriving mining town was forced to close due to mine closure, financial difficulty, or environmental disaster. While there are a few gold rush settlements on this list, it also includes a Great Depression real estate endeavor dedicated to Santa Claus, a 1950s road stop destroyed by a modern highway, and a modern Pennsylvania city that is currently on fire and will remain for the next 2 centuries. You'll come across haunting tales of phantom souls left behind in these barren sites along the route. Here are America's top 10 scariest small towns. Number 10. Thibodaux, Louisiana. New Orleans has a renowned history of hauntings, but a nearby hamlet has a reputation for being cursed. Thibodaux, on the Bayou La Fourche, has been the site of countless violent incidents over the years. The most famous is the racially motivated Thibodaux massacre, which occurred in 1887 following a sugarcane workers' strike. The walkout lasted 3 weeks, but it ended in disaster, when white paramilitary troops attacked the striking workers, who were largely black. The exact number of people killed is unknown, although it is likely to be in the hundreds. With that kind of history, you'd anticipate a lot of ill vibrations in places like the Laurel Valley Plantation. Number 9. East Bethany, New York. In East Bethany, a little hamlet in New York State, there isn't much to see or do. Many of the tourists who come to see the Rolling Hills Asylum are ghost hunters who come for the building's alleged paranormal attraction. The property, which was once known as the Genesee County Poor Farm, was featured in American Horror Story, Asylum, and you'll see why once you see it. The asylum has embraced its eerie past, and now gives visitors ghost tours and other macabre activities. Number 8. Wailuku, Hawaii. Wailuku is a census-designated place, CDP, in Maui County, Hawaii, and the county seat. At the time of the 2010 census, the population was 15,313 people. Wailuku, near the mouth of the Iao Valley, is immediately west of Kahului. Wailuku was the most popular tourist destination on Maui in the early 20th century, but it has since been surpassed by resort communities such as Kaanapali. The town's historic sites include Kahumanu Church, named after Queen Kahumanu, Kamehameha I's wife, which was built in 1876, the Wailuku Civic Center Historic District, which houses the Chi Kung Tong Society Building, and the Bailey House, a 19th-century former seminary, and home that now houses the Maui Historical Society and a history museum. The Halaki High and the Pihanakalani High are 2 ancient temples near Wailuku known as High. Both are hundreds of years old and were used by the native Hawaiians for sacred purposes. Wailuku illustrates the powerful influences that shaped the town, the island, and the state. It is the home of Maui's most famous Hawaiian rulers, the site of Kamehameha's decisive 1790 victory at the Battle of Kepanawai in the Iao Valley, the location of the 19th-century mission station, and the birthplace of the mighty sugar industry. In prehistoric Hawaii, the area was a hub of power and people. When New England missionaries introduced their religious beliefs, Western skills and instruments, and new agricultural methods to the area in the mid-1800s, it was irreversibly changed. The Wailuku Sugar Company, owned by C. Brewer & Co., and other sugarcane farms were cultivating and milling sugarcane by the 1860s. The sugar industry grew, to the detriment of the native people, as miles of ditches were created to transport irrigation water, from deep in the highlands to the enormous fields of central Maui. Thousands of skilled and unskilled laborers, from all over the world came to Maui to work in the farms and factories. They arrived from China, Japan, Okinawa, Korea, the Philippines, Europe, and America, bringing with them ethnic, cultural, and religious variety. Houses, schools, churches, temples, businesses, banks, and community structures were developed to satisfy the needs of the growing corporate town of Wailuku. Number 7. Thurmond, West Virginia. Thurmond, West Virginia is now about as remote as you can get without being fully cut off from society, with only 1 road and 1 train track connecting it to the rest of the world. Thurmond, West Virginia had a population of only 5 persons as of 2018. Thurmond, on the other hand, was originally a bustling coal mining town, and much of the town has been preserved in its original state, with little evidence of modernity. The ancient depot, which was previously a stop for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway, has been converted into a visitor center. Visiting here serves as a reminder of how rapidly a once thriving community may devolve into a ghost town. Number 6. Centralia, Pennsylvania. Centralia, Pennsylvania is another town with a small permanent population. The town's residents left for good reason. Since 1962, a fire has been raging beneath the city. No, we're not referring to it in a metaphorical sense. Toxic gases were released as a result of the fire, which originated in an abandoned coal mine. Worse, the fire is anticipated to continue to burn for many more years. You can image the spooky vibe when you see signs around town that say things like, "Ground is prone to unexpected collapse," and "Walking or driving in this region could result in serious injury or death." We don't expect a renaissance in this town anytime soon. Number 5. Kennecott, Alaska. It's easy to forget about the last frontier when you think of abandoned communities in the United States. They're mostly found in the South and Midwest. A couple of prospectors discovered a wealth of copper in Kennecott, Alaska, around the turn of the century, and many mines were quickly established to extract it, ushering in an era of affluence. However, by November 1938, the copper had run out, and the last train had left Kennecott, leaving the town abandoned. Tourists may now explore the old mines and see what's left of a once prosperous town. Number 4. Bodie, California. Bodie, in Mono County, California, is one of America's most well-known ghost towns, because to its fascinating history. A group of prospectors struck gold in Bodie in 1859, and by 1876, townspeople had created a boom town after making significant profits from the discovery. Bodie's population had swelled to between 7,000 and 10,000 people just a few years later. After years of declining revenues, it had become a ghost town by 1915. What makes Bodie so astonishing is how well the structures have been preserved, and how many antiquities remain within them, seemingly untouched for over a century. However, going around a site that appears to be stuck in time gives you a creepy impression. Number 3. Virginia City and Nevada City, Montana. Virginia City and Nevada City, which are about a mile apart in Madison County, Montana, both have their own interesting history. Nevada City was renowned as one of the richest gold strikes in the Rocky Mountain West during the Gold Rush. Calamity Jane, an infamous frontierswoman, was once a resident of Virginia City. Buildings from the 1800s still survive in both cities, and living history exhibitions give visitors an insight into the past. It's tempting to let your imagination run wild when visualizing the drama of the Wild West, and rumor has it that you can sense the ghosts of those who came before you as you stroll around town. Number 2. Rhyolite, Nevada. Rhyolite, Nevada, on the Death Valley National Park border, is another once prosperous hamlet that has turned spooky. The gold rush drew a large number of people to the area, which was once home to a thriving community with an opera house and even a stock exchange. However, financial panic struck in 1907, and the Montgomery-Shoshone mine was shuttered by 1911. For more than a century, the town has been essentially abandoned, with many of the remaining structures in ruins and all of them unoccupied. Rhyolite, like some of the other places on our list, is undoubtedly haunted by the many people who have left their riches here. Number 1. Old Cahaba, Alabama. Cahaba, or Cahaba, was previously the state capital of Alabama, but it is now more famous for its ghostly activities than for its political history. The community has earned the label of Alabama's most famous ghost town, and rumors of paranormal activity have long circulated. One story describes a mystery sphere observed in the garden maze on C.C. Pegue's property, which no longer exists. Many more claimed hauntings and creepy places are listed in Digital Alabama's Guide to Ghosts and Haunted Places, not just in Old Cahaba Archaeological Park but throughout Alabama. The abandoned and spooky Old Cahaba, on the other hand, takes the cake. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.